welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And if you're new here, what we're doing in this show is we are playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, from 1984's Duck Hunt to video games are eternal and will go on forever, as will we. So, today's episode is representing fighter number Smash 13, Chapter 18, Doomslayer. It's the 1993 MS-DOS game, Doom.
MS-DOS and a few other things since then.
Yeah, I'll name all the things Wikipedia lists later, but for now, Doom. It's a game that you can play.
And should, I would say. I had a lot more fun with this game than I expected to, honestly.
Honestly, same.
I never played like one of these like really old first-person shooters like this, where like you can't even look up and down.
It's really weird to play an FPS in 2023 that you can't look up. It's really weird.
And like at the time, like you couldn't even use the mouse. It was all keyboard. Which sounds miserable because I feel like this game is so fast. I can't imagine playing it without a mouse, honestly, because this is one of the fastest shooters I've ever played. And it's so weird because like modern first-person shooters aren't really as fast as this game is. And like this
except for Doom 2016.
Except for Doom, yeah. And like I feel like it's fair to say this is like one of the most influential shooters of all time.
Yeah, up there with Counter-Strike and GoldenEye, I think. Yeah,
and you don't get shooters that have this sense of kineticism that, I mean, you do nowadays, but they're kind of relegated into the indie realm or like the AA realm, like the stuff that isn't really like the tentpole premium stuff. And this was like the original one. So it's just so weird to me that kind of the genealogy of shooters has gotten away from how wildly like fast and action-packed Doom is.
I think part of that is the fact that you can't look up, though, because so when we say you can't look up, that means you can't look up. You can look right and left, and that is what you get to do. And
yeah, there's no vertical looking at all.
Yeah, the way aiming works is the enemy unobstructed anywhere in your, like, where you are aiming? Cool, you've shot them.
Yeah, up and down doesn't exist, essentially. So, which is really funny with a shotgun.
Yeah. Well, the shotgun has like a weird amount of range for a shotgun.
It's a good shotgun.
You can fucking hit things from across the room with the shotgun and they'll just die.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Did you get the double barrel shotgun, by the way?
I don't think I did.
Because that has probably the best animations in the game, and like they are like modern standard. Like that gun's got some good animations. Like goddamn, it's a powerful weapon that uses up double the ammo because it's double barreled. But it's like as soon as I got it, I didn't want to use any other gun ever again.
Oh yeah, I just used the shotgun for most of the game. I don't think I switched over to other stuff basically ever. If I had the shotgun, I was using the shotgun. It's not like I was going to run out of bullets.
It's hard to run out of bullets.
It's really hard to run out of ammo.
As long as you don't die, which like once you do die, everything gets a million times harder.
Because all you have now is a pistol.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the game has like built-in quick save hotkeys.
Sure does.
Which I noticed it even has it on console.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. But I honestly thought I was going to hate this game. I'm not going to lie. Like genuinely, I thought I was going to go into this game and be like, this is sure not a game for me. But no, I had a good time. I had to skip one level, I think, in the first episode. By the way, this game is split into 3 episodes. Being Knee Deep in the Dead, The Shores of Hell, and Inferno. And then there's a 4th episode called Thy Flesh Consumed, which neither of us played, which was apparently, it's not just setting up Doom 2. It came out 2 years, or It came out a year after Doom 2.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's weird.
It came out as part of the expanded version of Doom called Ultimate Doom.
And I did play a little bit of Doom 2. Not a whole lot, which actually, now that I think about it, maybe the double barrel shotgun is in Doom 2.
It might
because here's the thing, it's just more Doom.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It is extraordinarily just like more levels for the same game and a couple extra weapons, but not very much. It's extremely similar. Which my understanding is that is absolutely not the case with Doom 3.
Oh yeah, no, Doom 3 is a huge departure. Doom 3 is the black sheep of the franchise because it focused harder on, we're going to be a more survival horror than action. And some people kind of like Doom 3, but for the most part, it is considered why there was no Doom game until 2016.
I see.
So, yeah, it was not the most popular entry. I want to try it. I still want to try it myself. But yeah.
I might go through all the Doom games, honestly, because these are really fun games.
Yeah, I enjoyed Doom 1, and Doom 2016 is very good. I think it's too long, but it's very good. But
I've not played the modern
one.
Dooms yet, but I would like to, definitely.
But yeah, I had to skip one level in Knee Deep in the Dead. I don't remember which one it was, but I could not, for the life of me, find where to go. I just couldn't. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I don't think it was the map. I couldn't figure out where to go. And eventually, after like 25 minutes, I was like, I'm just gonna skip to the next level. That's
kind of the position that I almost found myself in with like the Portals level in the third episode, because that one was frustrating.
That level, after like 15 minutes, I gave up and pulled up a map, and it's the only one that I pulled up a map for.
Yeah, I also pulled up a map. It didn't help.
Yeah, that level sucks. That's the final level of Inferno, and it's bad. It's a bad level. Because I guess it's technically not the final level of Inferno, because the final boss is the final level of Inferno, but the last level. And it's not good, because the teleporters they don't go to random places, but the fact that they kind of expect you to memorize what teleporter goes where is fucking ludicrous when they all look the same.
Oh man.
It was not a good level. But other than that, I didn't have any problems with most of the other levels.
I would definitely say that navigation is the hardest part of the game, even with the in-game map. Because
in the in-game map, the thing that fucked with me is that you still move. Like, the character still moves. He doesn't pause when you pull up the map.
That was the only way I could manage to make it work. Because I had the map open and I was just moving around while staring at the map.
Muscle memory had me, because I played the whole thing on gamepad. Muscle memory had me using the analog stick to try and move the map to look around it, which you can't do in this game, by the way. And then the character would start moving, and I think I walked into lava like 3 times doing that. So, it's all relative. But yeah, that's the thing that fucked me. That's the only thing that muscle memory fucked me over. I don't play a lot of FPSs, to be fair. So there wasn't a lot of muscle memory to get in the way of anything, but I've played enough that it was like, this feels weird.
I wouldn't say that muscle memory was really the problem. I think that the controls and the way everything works was very much what I expected it to be. It's just that the game is from a very different time period in terms of game design. So it was just doing things that we weren't quite used to and didn't have a lot of the modern design ideas that we are very used to. And in some ways, I actually really like how that turned out, because the way that armor works in this game, where it's not like an extra health bar, it's actually like a reduction to the damage taken to your health. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. I like that more than if armor was an extra health bar.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't think that carries over to Doom 2016, but I might be misremembering. I feel
like that's just how armor should work in video games.
I mean, it makes sense. That's how armor works in real life.
Yeah.
So, you know. So Doom, of course, we mentioned at the beginning, Doom is very famous for coming out on fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Everything.
Even soccer, I said that.
Yeah. He didn't list all of them, which I find really weird. You'd think he'd get really like in the weeds in detail. And I don't even think this Wikipedia list is the full list, to be honest, but here we go. It came out on MS-DOS, Next Step, OS2, IRIX, Solaris, the Sega 32X, Atari Jaguar, Mac OS, PC-98, the SNES, PlayStation, 3DO, Windows, Sega Saturn, Amiga, RISC OS, I've never heard of that, Game Boy Advance, Xbox, Xbox 360, iOS, Linux, PlayStation 3, Android, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. And again, I don't think that's the full list.
Yeah, and whatever homebrewable device you can imagine.
Oh yeah, it's like a meme nowadays where people are just like, I'm gonna make this play Doom, this wildly fucking like this thing that is not made to play video games. I'm gonna make it play Doom. I'm gonna make my this fucking pregnancy test play Doom. That's a real one, by the way. That happened.
Is that not just a Photoshop or like?
No, that was real. They had a video.
Those could be faked.
It was one with a digital readout. That's how they managed to do it. I think they only managed to get one level going, not the whole game, but it was playing Doom.
Okay.
It's wild. People have done some crazy shit with Doom. It's interesting.
It's a pretty like low end game nowadays. So like I don't know off the top of my head what the file size would have been either, but like if you're using like the original version and not like one of the modern ports that it like is effectively just an emulator with the game dropped into it, then you can probably get it on anything.
Oh, 100%. And it'll run on basically anything. It ran on my PC just fine.
Yeah.
And as some people might know, computer didn't run a lot of games very well.
It ran on Game Boy Advance.
It ran on a GBA. As far as I'm aware, that's a bad port, but I don't know. You'd have to go ask Stop Skeletons for Fighting on that one. I'm pretty sure they have a video on every single Doom port that's ever existed somewhere.
I remember John Veridan said to play the Super Nintendo version, and then when I told like literally anyone else that he said that, they're all like, no, do not play that version. That
checks out. I've learned a lot of things about John Reardon over the years, and that checks out. But it's the one I've heard is actually a pretty all right port is the PlayStation port, which apparently has an entirely remade soundtrack, like an entirely different soundtrack. I believe Stop Skeletons did a video entirely on the Doom PlayStation port, and it was really interesting, actually, especially because the development of that game was apparently a fucking trash fire.
Really?
And it was essentially made by one person.
for just like a port?
For a port, yeah. At least I think it was the PlayStation version. It might have been a different. There's some version where like some dude, some like tech bro or something, some rich dude, like bought the ability to port Doom to something, and he didn't play video games, so he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And they ended up like, he was like, yeah, we're going to add new weapons and FMV cutscenes and all this shit. And they basically hired this one woman who like got what they had finished so far and was like, this is some of the worst work I've ever seen in my life. And essentially built the whole game by herself. Including reaching out to id and saying, please, these people have no idea what they're doing. I need your resources. And she would apparently get like emails from the dude that were like, so how is the implementation of feature that is being mentioned for the first time? And
Jesus
like
Christ.
she would just it's such an interesting story, and I'm gonna go look up which one it is.
It does seem to be the PlayStation version.
It is the PlayStation version? Okay, yeah. Apparently the development of that version was just a trash fire, and it was single-handedly saved by one woman.
It's almost like a disappointment that like the guy that had no idea what he was doing ended up kind of getting his way because the version exists.
Yeah. Though none of the shit that he wanted to add was in it, to be fair.
Okay.
As far as I remember, the FMV cutscenes sure as fuck weren't, though there is apparently evidence that some of them were filmed because people have found set photos of a guy in a cyber demon costume.
Oh my God.
It's wild. That is a video I 100% say people should go watch. Any of Stop Skeleton's videos on Doom in any form are, that man knows so much about Doom. That man knows more about Doom than I know about anything.
And all that in service of a version that you have to play with a controller.
I played the whole game with a controller. It worked. I found it fine, honestly.
I played episode 2 with a controller, and it just that was like definitely the one where I struggled the most by far.
That's very interesting to me, because I think I started trying to do mouse and keyboard. Well, keyboard, and eventually I just like switched over to the gamepad, and that just felt better to me. I don't know why.
I mean, I am also like generally more familiar with shooters, so
that is fair.
I'm more familiar with mouse and keyboard, so trying to go over to controller just did not work.
Most of the shooters I play are Resident Evil, which I play on consoles. So, there's that. Other than if the shotgun didn't exist, do you have another favorite weapon? I do.
I forget the name of it, but it's the one that like kind of shoots out like laser beams.
The plasma pistol, I think.
I think so. Or the plasma cannon or something. Like it shoots out like a continuous stream of lasers or something. That one's really strong. It runs out of ammo too quickly to use as reliably as the shotgun. But whenever I like need to get out of a fight quick, that was definitely the best way to do it.
For me, my other favorite weapon to use was the symbol of our Lord and Savior, Saint Inugami Korone, the chainsaw, because the chainsaw is really satisfying, weirdly enough.
I actually didn't like the chainsaw in this because every time I tried to use it, I took a ton of damage.
Oh, I never did. You stun lock enemies super fast with that thing. They can't move.
I don't know what it was I was doing then, because like I would always like lose so much health that it just was never worth doing.
I don't know then, because I did not have that issue. I would walk up to shit and just like hold down the button, and they just stun locked and then died. And it was awesome. So I love the chainsaw. I'll never love it as much as Korone loves the chainsaw. For anybody that does not know why I'm saying that, you should go look up a video of the VTuber Inugami Korone playing Doom 2016, and how she is the happiest creature I've ever seen on this earth when she picks up the chainsaw. I've never been that happy about anything in my life, and it's genuinely a delightful clip.
I imagine it's probably a little easier too in the modern games.
A little bit, yeah. Well, in 2016, the chainsaw is kind of a like, it works like the knife in Resident Evil, where it's a get out of jail free card if you have it. It's a I want this thing to die right now. And it also makes them, I think, drop ammo if you kill enemies with it. Because the way you kill enemies decides what they drop in Doom 2016. So like if you kill them with a glory kill they'll pretty much always drop health. And if you kill them with a chainsaw or I think just a weapon in general, they will drop ammo.
My understanding is that Doom Eternal leans really hard into that and really limits your ammo and forces you to switch things up.
I still haven't played Doom Eternal. I'm afraid to play Doom Eternal from everything I've heard.
I played it. I played the E3 demo of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was fucking incredible when I played it. So
it's a game I want to try at some point, but my fucking computer can't. I'm shocked my computer could run Doom 2016. It's not going to run fucking Doom Eternal.
I mean, if it can run one, it could probably run the other.
I guess maybe. I'd have to see. We'll see.
Worst case scenario, you could get it on Switch.
No. Even I will not do that. And I am the one between us known to have a higher tolerance for like Switch ports being worse than other consoles. No.
Let me check something real quick. Would you look at that? It's Steam Deck verified.
Well, there you go. I would have to buy it on Steam. But there you go.
There you go.
I genuinely like, it's really weird to compare this in Doom 2016 because I think Doom 2016 might actually be faster than this, mainly because you have more movement ability. Like you can jump
impressive.
And climb, and enemies are a lot more mobile.
As they need to be.
And it unlike this game where we mentioned like it's very hard to run out of ammo for any of your weapons for the most part, because you will find it all over the fucking place.
Yeah, you really have to try to run out of ammo if you haven't died in a while.
In Doom 2016, you will run out of ammo in the middle of encounters, and you will have to use basically every gun at your disposal. So that is also Doom 2016 is really good. Like it's really, really good.
It sounds really good.
You would probably fucking enjoy the hell out of it if you enjoyed the original. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm expecting I would. I kind of want to work my way up though, because I have started Doom 2, and I gotta find out what the hell Doom 3 is, and then I think Doom 64 counts.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I've seen some people say that Doom 64 is good. Mainly John and Neil
Mm-hmm.
have really talked up Doom 64 being good.
I know it's on Game Pass, and I wonder what Microsoft says that the 64 in it means.
There are 64 demons and no more. If you see more than 64, it's just because one came back.
I get my money back.
Yeah, all of them are on Game Pass, which surprised me when Doom 3 showed up, because as far as I'm aware, they don't acknowledge Doom 3 ever. I don't think it's canon even. The rest of them are.
I think it's a continuity reboot too. Like it's not not a sequel.
So that's also a very interesting thing about it. But that's the one I want to try the most, because it's the one that sounds the most up my alley, I think. But yeah, Doom has been a very storied franchise over the years.
It's been through a lot.
It essentially invented first-person shooters, essentially.
And it started really strong, too.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, there's a reason why it's one of the most ported games ever.
Yeah, and episode 1 was shareware, too. Like, it was free.
That sounds about right. I'm suddenly remembering that I have met the creator of Doom. Why did that? At E3, I actually got to go like fucking talk to John Romero, one of the creators of Doom, the other being John Carmack. And dude's nice. Dude's cool. The game he was showing us turned out to not be very good, but it's fine, whatever. But like, that's weird to think about now. I think this might be the first time I've played like a not indie game. I guess technically by today's definition, Doom would be an indie game, which is bizarre to think about.
Kind of. But I mean, like a lot of games that are now big franchises are technically indies if you go far enough back.
Yeah.
And they just ended up being extremely popular.
But I think this might be the first time I've played what could be called a AAA game, and I've met the person who, like, one of the people who made it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have any other game like that, I don't think, in general. So that's bizarre to think about. Huh.
Now you get the chance to tell him that it was great.
Now I need to go meet John Carmack and ask how getting sued was. Doom's good.
It's very good.
I really don't have a lot more to say about it other than, like, I'm surprised at how well it works for being one of the first of its kind.
It is a very simple game.
It is, but it like... Usually when you go back to, like, think of 3D platformers. You go back to, like, the first 3D platformers pre-Mario 64. It's like, wow, these fucking suck. These are terrible.
Yeah, Doom kind of got it right on the first try. And I think that's partially because, like, they understood the limitations they were working with really well. Because,
John Carmack, the programmer, is well known for being a fucking genius.
Yeah, and, like... You can't look up and down, and that's just a hardware limitation. Nothing they could do was going to fix that. And so they could have made it so that you can't hit enemies that are higher up than you, but instead they realized, no, that sucks. And so they made it so that as long as the enemy is horizontally in the center of the screen, it'll get hit by your bullets.
And there's nothing between you and them.
Yeah, and I think that is the philosophy that they took to all of their technical limitations. They found a clever way around it that was all about feeling good instead of feeling realistic. And that ends up with a game that is still really good to play now.
Yeah, shockingly good to play now. Like, this game actually aged really well. Not gonna lie. Like, shockingly well. But, like, the game also has, like, surprisingly okay sound design. Like, the enemies all make the same sounds essentially, but you can tell what enemies are coming.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of sounds that you hear a lot as stock sounds nowadays. Because like I'm certain a lot of these were just pulled from sound libraries that Star Fox Adventures would pull from 20 years later or 10 years later. 10 years later, I think. Yeah. Time is weird. It's 30 years later now.
How long did the Cyber Demon take you?
Which episode was that?
That was the last episode. That was the final boss of episode 2. The big horned dude.
Not that long. He was definitely the toughest of the 3 final bosses.
He is generally considered, as far as I can tell, the hardest boss in the game.
I think he took me like 15 minutes.
I think it took me about 25 minutes. He kept fucking killing me. I was really bad at not getting shot.
I was having particular difficulty because I had died shortly before that, so I didn't have a lot of good guns.
Well, it gives you a rocket launcher, to be fair. So there's at least that.
Yeah, that's super hard to aim, and I was playing on controller for that episode too.
It is really hard to aim. But it's a lot easier than the actual final boss of Doom, being the Spider Demon. Mostly because by the time you get to the Spider Demon, chances are you have the BFG.
Yeah. Although the Spider Demon does have it has a hit scan. So that was quite a lot.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. And when I was looking at the soundtrack earlier, a lot of the comments on the Spider Demon music were about how that sucks. But yeah, you have the BFG and like, I don't know, 6 shots and the motherfucker's dead.
I don't remember if I had the BFG because I might have died at some point.
I did when I got there. The BFG is works a lot differently than it does in 2016. In 2016, the BFG is just something you get and then you have 3 charges of it. And I think you have like 2 charges of it. I don't remember how many, but it's the I need everything in this room to be dead right now button. And you don't get refills very often. But it's basically all right, this is too much. I need to not have anything living in this room anymore. It's fun. But in this game, it's just a gun. It's just a really strong gun.
Yeah, I unfortunately did not get a lot of time with it.
It's very satisfying. Killed a lot of things. Had a
Hopefully
good time.
I'll get more time with it as I play more Doom, because I do plan on finishing Doom 2.
As far as I'm aware, the BFG is in every single game. So, in some form, which, for people that don't know, the BFG literally does stand for big fucking gun. That's actually legitimately what it, like, for real, what it stands for.
Yeah, for sure.
It's genuinely really funny that it is called that, but that's what it's called. That's John Romero for you. That was him, as far as I'm aware. I have nothing else to say about Doom other than it's good.
Yeah, more or less. Should we talk about the music?
I don't have a lot of music that I want to give a shout out. The soundtrack is good, but obviously there is one song that needs to be given a shout out. The most famous song in the game that has basically become the theme of Doom, and that's At Doom's Gate, the music for E1M1.
It's wild that this only plays in that one level.
Yeah, this is the only level that it ever plays in, and it's
every level has its own music, I think, right?
I believe so.
Although the soundtrack that I'm looking at, a lot of the episode 3 levels don't have their own songs, so maybe they start repeating then.
Possibly, but everything in episode 1 and 2, I believe, have their own stuff. But like, this song is the Doom song.
Mm-hmm.
This is the song people think about when they think about Doom. This song is, I believe, in all the games. I don't know if it shows up in Doom 3. I'm pretty sure it shows up in Doom 2. It is absolutely in 2016, and it's fucking awesome in 2016. It's probably in Eternal. I don't know. Probably at 64, I assume. But it's so catchy. It's so absolutely incredibly catchy.
I would say overall, too, episode 1 probably had the most memorable music.
Oh, definitely.
Because another song from episode 1 that I really liked, it's for E1M4, Kitchen Ace and Taken Names. Which, what a great title.
Sure. I don't know what it means, but it's a pretty
Kicking
good
ass and taking names.
Oh, fucking shit. Okay, yeah, no, this is good. That's good. That's really good. This song is also super fucking good.
Yeah.
I prefer the like hard rock stuff over some of the more atmospheric stuff, because I think the hard rock translates a bit better to the sound font that they use in general.
That's very true. Although I do overall like the compositions for the atmospheric stuff, because I think they do a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I prefer the rock stuff, because I just think it sounds more fitting for the sound of the Doom soundtrack. But one of the atmospheric ones that I do kind of enjoy a little bit is one of the first ones you hear. Well, the first one you hear, I guess, being E1M3, Dark Halls.
That is a pretty good one.
One of the comments on the YouTube video I'm looking at with it says, never has walking in a Home Depot been more atmospheric than playing this on your phone while wearing earbuds.
Yeah.
Home Depot is kind of laid out like a fucking Doom level.
Well, kind of, a little bit. In terms of like the atmospheric songs, I also really like E1M5 Suspense. I think in terms of the Doom songs that aren't like the electric guitar feel, this is probably my favorite.
I think this is a very close second for me, just because of the dark. It has like this really dark feeling, and it does it super well.
Yeah. And apparently this song plays in Doom 2016.
Oh, nice.
According to the YouTube comments. After combat in the destroyed Argent facility.
I'd have to go back and listen to the soundtrack again to hear it. I should actually do that now that I've heard the original soundtrack a lot of the original game, to see just how many references there are to it. One that I find kind of funny, though. I don't know why I find this song funny, but it's E2M7 Waltz of the Demons. Fucking xylophone just out of nowhere. I do see a YouTube comment that's like, somebody needs to make like an actual orchestrated version of this song because it would sound really good, and I think I agree with that, but I don't know, this song sounds like a Halloween as fuck song to me. Like, this is Halloween horror. This
one kind of feels like it could be a GoldenEye song until you get like the big swelling stings. At which point it suddenly sounds like a Star Fox Adventures song.
Oh, yeah, the stings absolutely do sound kind of Star Foxy. That's true. I can hear it.
Star Fox Adventures specifically, I think.
But honestly, that's really... there's not a lot else that I feel like I personally want to shout out. It's a good soundtrack overall, but I don't know, not a lot of it stuck with me in general. Not to say that it's bad, it's just it's out of my brain.
I think it's just part of it is that it goes by so fast because it changes every level, and the levels end up being pretty quick because the game is just very fast paced.
The game is very built to be played as fast as possible. Like, the fucking levels have par times that your goal is to try and get under, and they're usually like a minute.
Oh yeah, those are not for your first playthrough.
So like, you could tell 100% this game was made for speedrunners before speedrunning was a big thing.
Well, were those par times in the original version?
I assume so.
Because there are definitely things in the modern ports of it that were not in the original. Like, for example, mouse control, but also like that credits sequence that played at the end of every episode. Obviously, that wasn't in the originals because it's like an animated FMV kind of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of the ending, man, the ending of episode 1 caught me super off guard.
In what way?
Well, you walk into a room and you're surrounded by demons and then you fucking die.
Oh, yeah. Like, I assume that's because it was the end of the free part of the game, where it's like, haha, buy the game, fuckos.
Maybe. Because like the other two are, here's the final boss, and episode 1 is just you walk into a teleporter and then you get fucking dogpiled.
Yeah, I think that's to kind of like get you in the mood to buy the game and continue the fight so that you don't end it on kind of a dud.
It's a very interesting way to end a game. Or to end an episode of a game, I guess. Technically, to be the end of the game for some people.
To end a demo.
Yeah. A very long demo. It's like
literally 1/3 of the game.
It's like a fucking hour long.
I mean, I've seen demos that are like an hour long, but usually they are for games that are longer than 3 hours.
True. That's true. It was just good.
It's really good. I highly recommend this game.
Yeah,
maybe one of the most acclaimed, famous, influential video games of all time is good.
I mean, that seems like a stretch. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But you know, I feel like some people. Did you know? I don't know why I keep thinking about this when I think about Doom. I think it's just the whole like origin of FPS's thing. Do you know what the first game to have dual analog controls was?
Wasn't it some licensed game?
It was an Aliens game.
Yeah.
And reviewers fucking hated the control scheme.
Was that literally the first, or is that just the one that was famous for it?
No, that game sold terribly. I'm pretty sure it was a licensed game.
It's known as the first one, but like GoldenEye had dual analog.
GoldenEye technically had dual analog, I guess, but you needed to have two fucking controllers to do it.
It's a big technicality for sure, but it's still like the idea was there. So it's like, was that the first one so much later?
Well, dual analog on a single controller, basically, in a first-person shooter like that. And again,
I'm not saying that I would consider GoldenEye the first. I'm saying like, could there have been something in between?
I mean, maybe, but reviewers fucking hated the control scheme. It was like the main thing mentioned in reviews. And oops, yeah, now it's the standard.
I'm not saying by any means it was like popular, but like it's one of those things where it's like, I imagine like a lot of the things that are, sometimes you get something where it's like, yeah, this is the first game to do this, but it really wasn't. It was just the first good game to do it.
And maybe, as far as I'm aware, the game is not very good. So,
yeah.
For licensed titles, you know, back in the day. Oh man, you kids listening today, you don't know how fucking good you have it. Licensed titles used to be the worst. Literally the only good thing about video games becoming too expensive to develop is that licensed titles sort of, like bad licensed titles sort of died.
Have you seen the Quentin Reviews videos about the iCarly and all the shows that came from it?
I have not, but I've been meaning to watch it for a while.
He spends 2 hours talking about licensed games based on Victorious.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Incredible.
They used to be so bad, kids. They used to be so fucking bad. Like kids throw away, like younger people throw around the term shovelware all the time nowadays. You don't fucking know what shovelware is. Unless you have a Switch, then you know what shovelware is because the eShop's full of it.
Man, we don't get those like really shitty licensed games anymore.
Yeah, because like I said, they're too expensive to make. If you're gonna,
except Bakugan Champions of Vestroya.
Well, that's anime. Anime doesn't count. All anime is bad. So I think it's time to move on to our next game. And that game is representing fighter number 0, Gino. It is the 2017, I guess, PC game? You'd call it PC first, I guess?
It was ported later, so yeah.
Yeah. It's Fortnite. Well, Matt, you got your wish.
Also, I'm sorry, you actually, I have to make a small correction. The character's name is pronounced Geno. That's a very, very common mistake.
That's not how that name's pronounced. I don't care what they tell me. There's words mean things and pronunciations have things.
But Geno is the main villain of Fortnite.
Weird that he was the one they put in the game in Smash.
A little bit, yeah. He first appeared in the Marvel Comics crossover.
So did he fight Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man was on the moon fighting Doctor Doom, I think. He fought Wolverine.
I mean, he could have stopped at Spider-Man was on the moon. I didn't need to know any other details to know that was great.
That was also a really bad comic. Like, holy shit. It was really bad.
This is all yours. I don't fucking know anything about this game, and I don't want to play it. I'm being forced. I have my arm twisted behind me.
Well, that's the fun thing where it's so much of Fortnite's story. It happened in the past, and that's where it lives now. Because Fortnite is just a game that is constantly getting updates, and the story is advancing with it. And like legit, the game map that you play on is now it's changed completely 3 times, and so it's just every couple weeks it's just a different video game.
And also crossovers with fucking everything,
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything.
That's why, for us to have some semblance of a single-player campaign, we're playing the real original Fortnite, the building tower defense-ish game, Fortnite Save the World.
Can I still play as Goku in that?
You can play as Goku.
Okay, good. You know what? Maybe this is a good game. I feel like I mentioned it back in the World Ends With You episode. I mentioned that Goku was my favorite anime character. Or not really. Dragon Ball's my favorite anime thing. Goku's not even my favorite character in Dragon Ball. What the fuck am I saying? It's Vegeta. Vegeta's the best character in Dragon Ball.
Well, you could also play as Vegeta.
I can also play as Vegeta. That is true.
Yeah. We've got Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, Beerus, Gohan, Piccolo. I think that's it. There might be a couple more.
Does Beerus, do they respect the power levels unlike that bad game, Dragon Ball FighterZ?
No, canonically, the player character is playing as a looper who is just trapped in the Fortnite loop. That's not even a joke. I'm not even making that up.
Do they respect the power levels?
Technically, you could say they do.
Krillin should not be able to beat Beerus.
That's okay. Krillin's not in Fortnite.
That's because he's probably statistically dead.
But John Wick is.
That's basically Krillin.
Kind of. If Krillin was better with guns.
And also taller. And also Keanu Reeves. And also a completely different character. But like, it's basically Krillin.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's fucking it's Chug, what the fuck?
It is Fortnite.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to fucking say?
Anything. What's your favorite Fortnite season?
Fall. I like when the leaves are crunchy and colorful.
It is currently fall in Fortnite Chapter 4 map.
Jesus Christ.
You can hide in piles of leaves.
Fucking hell. It's about to be, but it's spring in the real world. What the You know what?
It's not the real world. It's the loop.
Can I free myself from this now? Not like from playing the game. I can't free myself from that, but from the episode.
Well, that's what being in the loop is all about. If you die, you just go back to the start of the loop.
I mean, what better way to describe the format of Smashterpieces? No matter how hard we claw and try, we will never get out.
That's true.
Anyways. Yeah, Fortnite, I guess. It's here. It's arrived.
It's funny because Fortnite Save the World isn't on Switch. They just wanted Battle Royale.
I wouldn't have played the Switch. Are you gonna fucking blame them?
And now here's something you might actually like. 'Cause they just added the Unreal Engine editor for their creative maps. So like you can legit just like use the Unreal Engine regular tools to make creative mode maps in Fortnite. So like it's wild the things that they let you do with that. You can create entirely different games in there. And that is compatible with the Switch version. And when I say compatible, I mean that it doesn't stop you. And that's as far as I mean it's compatible.
Well, yeah. It's compatible if the Switch runs it at all.
It's like I tried it out legitimately. This is the kind of thing that if it was anyone else, this would not have been allowed on the eShop.
Beautiful.
Like
Absolutely.
We're talking single-digit frame rates.
Fuck yeah. That's the good shit, though. Look, if I can't count the frames on my fingers, then it's a bad game.
Hold on, I gotta show you this tweet that I made because I was telling John Raritan about it. This is what it looks like as compared to this screenshot taken on PS5. It's a beautiful side-by-side.
That's what makes the Switch so great. It's a different experience every time.
It's so good.
All right, I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm ejecting from the plane, or I guess jumping out of the boy. Fuck you. Oh, God. I hope you enjoyed. You can follow me on Twitter at StringPixel and Matt's at Grimace Duminis. You can yell at Matt for making this happen. And you can follow the show at Smashterpieces. That's on both YouTube and Twitter. I guess unsubscribe now, just to make sure you get it over with. Don't do that. Don't. That's a joke. Do not unsubscribe, please, for the love of God. There aren't very many of you, and we can't afford to lose you. But yeah, that's where you can find all the VODs for all the streams that we do. Those streams happen on twitch.tv/Nintendo World Report. So you can go watch them live if you want, and other things. We do other things that aren't Smashterpieces games.
Like 100% run of Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah, we're not involved with that, but you should watch it anyway. And is there anything else that I have to mention? I guess you can find the show at anondino.squarespace.com. That's where it is. That's where you can download the episodes directly, which you probably know that, but I don't know. This could be your first episode, which, hell of a first episode to pick. Hell of a first episode to pick. I guess that's it. With that, my name is Joe.
My name is Matt.
And I'm gonna go jump off a cliff.